Okay, we're on abandoned preface. Abandoned preface. About a year ago, pretty much, after I wrote wrote this little a year ago, pretty much after I wrote that untitled autobiography, that first attempt, I went and I let me get the microphone a little bit closer. I went and I tried to write just that Occupy book, figuring that Occupy Wall Street at least was enough of a subject to write about. So I was going to write a book about Empire. Empire seems to be where out of all that reading I did last winter, to go over all of my old writing and all my old notes, something I'm still in the process of, but I've put a lot more effort into it this year than I did. Back then I thought it was just a week or two and I was going to knock out a book proposal. And then it looked like I told myself, well, fuck the winter. I'll just work through the winter and go back to real estate, at least during the summer, to make some money. But that way I give myself a couple months to do this. And that's when I decided to write it more about Occupy Wall Street, because I thought, well, that's the story to be told, was the protest. But that all is happening the end of 2017, setting up my 2018, which I feel like I still am. Even though technically they say it's January 3rd, but for me it's December 34th. December 34th. So I'm going to stay in December, I think, until I figure out 2018, because I have a lot of shit to still review. Even these reviews right here they've been interesting, but they're not the end all. I'm going to have to go through these at the end of 2019. So hopefully by the end of 2019, maybe another year, I'll be ready to actually have a unified narrative and unified sense of self, or at least that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be done, because the outline is what we're doing right now. We're doing the outline so we can actually write the story. So it's okay for the outline to have mistakes. I think I said last time I was smoking, I was like, this is a conversation which future me is going to continue and put a cap on. So it's okay to leave things open-ended right now. The thing is, there has to be an ending in sight, though, and that's what it is. 2019. 2018 is capped. We are still in it. I think that's what it is. I'm going to just skip out on 2019. I told my friend, I said, I'm not leaving 2018. I think I'm going to let the world do a 2019 without me. I'll catch up in 2020, because I have to run for president. I have so much shit to do. I have to start that political party. I have to do everything. So, I don't have to do everything, but at the very beginning, I have to find the people who are going to do everything with me. So, we're going to see. We have 4 more of these videos. I was looking at that. I was thinking, how long ago did I do these videos? I did them before Christmas, and I thought I was going to do a couple after Christmas. We went to my aunt's house to say hello to my auntie for Christmas in Oxnard. And then I thought I was going to wrap up after Christmas. I was trying to wrap up on my pop's birthday, which is the 22nd. That's why I was going to. Yeah, this is my mom's and my pop's back here. His birthday was on the 22nd of December, so I thought, that'd be cool too. We took that on my mom's birthday. Me and my mom's. We took that. We went to Venice Beach to an Italian restaurant for my mom's birthday, and that was on November 4th. Her birthday's the 4th. And so then I started doing these videos shortly after they got me the gym membership. I thought, all right, let me try to wrap up this whole 2018 thing, because that's what it was. It was like 2018 I gave myself after I wrote that. So we're catching up. We're starting to dovetail. After I wrote this stuff, I was like, let me give the whole year. And then also, when you're dealing with the government, which claims the ability to monitor you at any time for any reason without even evidence of breaking a crime or anything, or if they're suspicious of you because you're protesting. Anyways, you have to know what you sound like. Also, if you want to be in media and other things. So I was like, I knew I couldn't get around it. I'd eventually have to start recording myself. But then also, now that equalizes the playing field. If you record yourself all the time and you act like you're being recorded all the time, then you don't have anything over your head. And then you take away shame, which is a large component in social conformity and social control. Shame, the same thing that they do in cults and religions and shit. And then this right here, is chocolate milk and Bailey's and coffee. So that's going to be cool. So we got a J we just rolled. Holla. Z perfect J. Wow. And then we got coffee and Bailey's and chocolate milk. So this is what is it? It's December 34th. December 34th. And, yeah, so I guess we will name this day December 34th. Well, we have Bailey's and we have a joint, so we'll call it BJ Day. Bailey Joint Day. That's a good. So December 34th, BJ Day, is a day that we're going to finish these videos. And then we're going to, I feel like BJ is used for something else and it's on the tip of my tongue. It's like circling around my mouth and I just can't fucking, BJ is like a popular, I feel like I've heard it before. It's just like right in the back of my throat and I just can't say it. Like fucking, you ever feel like fucking, yeah, like a mental block or fucking like it's gagging you? Let's try not to light the beard on fire this time, okay, Shaz? So what do we do so far? I'm supposed to read this shit. We're going to do these 4 videos, and then we're done with the fucking life review thingy that I was doing. But these last couple videos weren't really about the topic, so let me at least read the topic. It's not that long, and then I can bullshit for the rest of the hour. We got 4 more of these left, and after we're done with this project, which is still going on in 2018, just December 34th, BJ Day, then I'm going to start working on the website. Well, I finished formatting most of it. And apparently I've written the first section, living. Now I have to write the secure section, which that was good practice for writing a lot. And then by the end of secure section, I'll be caught up to the presidential campaign. And then I can start asking for money, I think. Well, not like legally for the presidential campaign, but like I would feel like I have a purpose now to start making money again. That's the thing, when you take a break from everything, you just don't even try not to interact with commerce as much as possible. Like my folks let me buy some groceries today, but trying to take a break from the interests and the influences of others is tough. Man, this computer's so loud, you're gonna catch up. You're gonna hear what I'm hearing, and it's not good. No, it's fine. It sounds fine. We're gonna smoke this one in pieces. Yes. I'll light them up for all 4 videos. Boom. Once it's out, it's out. I have to ride that high. It's okay. I had one earlier today. What happened was, so let me catch it up on video timeline since I started these in November, just so when I'm reviewing these, I'm like, Shaz, when was this again? It's fucking December 34th, BJ Day. And for Christmas, you went to your Tia Marta's house, Tia Martita, because she has no one because her children are fucking assholes. So I heard. No, I'm just joking out. No, it is what it is. I should visit them more, talk to them more as adults. But yeah, family does that. If someone's alone, we go out and we group up just to be fucking miserable together. She was like, La Barba, why don't you shave the beard? I don't know why I'm talking like an old gypsy woman, but Shaz, your beard. Oh, she was like, I was like, you know what? Let's speak of what we know. Women of babies and men of beards, or some shit. I tried to say it in Spanish, so it sounded cool. Or I said, we can only know about what we can grow. I don't know. I thought it sounded cool. Anyways, I was trying not to be too much of a dick. But also, like, push back her energy. She has strong energy. Yeah, because that's how people influence you a little bit with their expectations. It's like, yo, I'm just chilling. I don't really need your judgment right now. I know you don't think it's judgment, but it's a little bit of pushing waves into my pond. Sometimes we're trying to keep it calm pond. That's why you're letting the shit grow out. You're just observing, just thinking. There'll be plenty of time for work and action and this and that. I was telling her, it's like, as long as we value the right things, family and shit. She was telling me some story about how her son was lost in the world because they're all strong Christians, and he was at a party. It was like Sylvester Stallone party back in the 80s. There's cocaine everywhere, pills everywhere. He's a bodyguard. And then she's like, and then God took him out or some shit. And I was like thinking, all right, like we're trying to share some shit. So I was like, I was telling her how I did heroin recently, and fucking yeah, I know those people could get lost up in it. I peek my head in the door is what I told her. I just know what's in that room, but I try not to stay there. But yeah, I told her, I was like, yeah, some people, you could just tell they're caught up in the life. I don't know how she took that. I don't know if we were revealing like stories of like fucking yeah, that's some real shit, or she was trying to scare me straight or something. I don't know. They got their tactics, those Christians. Their ways of trying to always getting in your head. It's like a game they can't stop playing. How to get this guy to turn into being a Christian. It's an interesting. I mean, you got to do something with your life. You got to do something. Some people fucking join Avon. Some people join the church. You got this. Everyone. We got these motors. We got to exercise. That's in the orange section of my philosophy of life. You'll find the ego-driven motives to not just make money for the sake of nice things, but making money for the sake of making money, winning, competing, creating something, creating esteem, creating confidence, becoming a master at something, gaining your esteem from your skill set that you've developed over a lifetime of hard work. I don't know. Anyways, let's read this shit. Yeah, oh, and then after that, it was New Year's, and I thought my folks were going to spend the New Year's with them, but instead, they decided to stay here. And I mentioned something. I was like, you know what, maybe I could borrow that car. Maybe I can bounce, because you guys were all here, but the car's here too. And I mean, the car doesn't care if it spends New Year's with us, right? So I don't remember what my fucking argument was, but I mentioned it. My mom freaks out. She's like, oh my God, you make me feel uncomfortable, not wanted in my own house. I'm like, yo, Mom, I'm not trying to speak like that. I was just trying to mention, you don't even forget it. I was just softly just mentioning the idea of maybe borrowing the car. Fucking. But no, I don't know if they would want me to stay here with them. Well, of course, they would want us together as a family, but it's a whole real shit. I'm trying to be real, and it's hard to be real with people who believe in certain things. I'm wondering if it's my fault or their fault, and that's why this is an interesting thing to observe and study. But the judgment is what it is. Even when it's unspoken, you just feel it. Me being stoned, that's why I got that Christmas money. I got like a nice 100. Nice Benjamin, did the right thing, jumped into my hand. Been jamming for a minute off this herb, and then I got this fucking Marley herb. Bob Marley's favorite strain is supposed to be this like lamb's bread, and then his family's selling it. So you could buy it like, I should fucking put them on blast. Ooh, yeah. Marley Natural. It's pretty cool. Marley Gold. Lamb's bread. Anyways, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I had a friend who had it back in New York. My peoples had it. And I got like a fucking ounce or some shit. I was smoking that so much. It was nice. So was New Year's. That's why I wanted to say the New Year's. I got that before New Year's. I've been smoking that for a minute. It's only fucking like $35 an eighth out here in fucking Hollywood high grade. They're pretty dope in LA. And fucking yeah, so I've been smoking that, and then I come home high, and my folks are like fucking like they just trip out, and then like they talk about shit behind your back, and it's all this character shit. It comes back to character. They don't got character. They're being preyed upon emotionally. And then that's devolving their character, the shit that they listen to, the news, the framing of their dramatic stories, all with the assumptions about drug use and about the youth and about the world. And that Trump propaganda is going hard right now. It's interesting. It's strong emotions. I'm not speaking anymore. I mean, not so much with them, like I'm chilling on the emotional shit. So like 2018, I recorded all those conversations. I'm not going to review fucking 3-4 months. Now I'm staying here for a minute. It's going to be like at least another month before I get money. It's like I already got 2.5 months of conversation. I'm good. Some October, November, December. We had a good fight on New Year's about that shit. I was trying to tell her like, yeah, that wasn't my intention. I'm sorry. Forget about it. Just like, it was just a natural urge. I told her, I was like, I know my heart. I'm not malicious. I was thinking about going out to Slab City or something, like doing something on New Year's. Sometimes it's nice to take a break when you can. But I ain't got a car, I ain't got shit, so like I'm not trying to fucking, when you have those desires to do shit, you're just like, no, this is my path for now. You just accept it. Acceptance shit. It's like, speed and time to fucking process and figure out the next shit to do. Heal, let the emotions process. But I said some emotional shit, she did too. I said some shit like, y'all are fucking, I'm trying to get some money here. All I'm doing is writing to try to get some money to help y'all out. Because y'all ain't going to be able to help yourself. You don't got a fucking retirement plan. And that was kind of like, it's shitty to be like, I'm going to try to help you because I think you're helpless. I was like, especially proud people like that don't take like to that. But anyways, we're just chilling. You say some shit and then you don't even apologize for shit. I don't, anyways. I'm like, whatever it is, what it is. I don't take stuff personally from other people. If I feel like apologizing, if you really feel like you overstepped your word, then fucking go and take it back. But I try to say things I mean, so even when they're harsh or even when we're emotional, it's just like, it was just an expression of the moment. It's like, you either know someone's hurt or you don't. I just make that decision. It's not on the logical side. Apologizing for an emotion, what is that? I'm fucking giving it's just, the best apology is a sign of affection or love, or maybe that's a love language. They say some people are more verbal, some people are more. Anyways, we're getting off topic. The point is, new types of interactions as we continue into December 34th, BJ Day. And yeah, I've just been kind of like quiet. Like, all right, so this year I'm going to chill and try to do my grind and do this like a job, I guess. Just increase the hours. I have more of a framework. But we're going to do these 4 last videos, and then I'm thinking maybe I'll do a video that reading the Times after this, where I read the news and shit, and then that'll give me something to talk about. As long as I talk, I'll be cool. I'll be talking. There's people out there talking. Why not listen to me instead of some fucking other dumbass talking? We're all a bunch of dumbasses anyways, right? At least I'm trying to be honest. What's everyone else trying to do? Sell you shit, do shit. Okay, what do people want? What is someone's intention? Anyways, that's all the emotions I had about that one. A Tale of Two Empires. Some stuff happened to make what we call the Earth, and then some more stuff happened to make what we call people. Some people got together to create what we call civilization. Then 2 of those civilizations grew to become the most successful empires in history. The Roman Empire established 27 BCE, and the American Empire established 1776 CE. Empire is where a country divides the outside world into 3 categories: vassals, tributaries, and barbarians. Vassals trade obedience to the empire for privilege and protection. Tributaries pay ransoms under the threat of violence. Barbarians are the unaligned who threaten the order of the system. The American Empire acquired its first foreign territories in 1898, which it quickly turned into tributaries. And then after the 2 colonial world wars, it established 6 global spheres of influence for its vassals: U.S. PACOM, U.S. Southcom, U.S. EUCOM, U.S. CENTCOM, U.S. AFRICOM, U.S. NORCOM. Often, vassals fighting over spheres of influence include large multinational corporations. Corporations are a group of people who pretend to be one person in order to have more rights and powers than they would have individually. These imaginary people have become as powerful as countries and dominate the world economy. I own a corporation. I am Shaz Barbaric. I was born into the American Empire in 1982 CE. Before I turned 30, my life could be divided into 4 sections: personality, years 0 to 6, friendships, years 6 to 12, interests, years 12 to 20, purpose, years 20 to 30. My personality was influenced by my abilities and experiences. The name Shaz Barbaric was given to me by a childhood friend. I discovered that I was a writer in my teens, and in my 20s I decided that the only thing worth writing was the truth. It was difficult to establish truth with an empire. However, when I was 29, I flew from Puerto Rico to Chicago to drive a car to California for a friend. Along the way, I met someone who told me there was a permanent protest camp starting in New York City. At the time, I was writing a guide on how to start a revolution in America. The world had been thrown into a deep recession. My parents were in the process of losing their home to foreclosure, and so I flew to New York. Occupy Wall Street. On November 15th, 2011, the NYPD beat and arrested over 200 people in Zuccotti Park as a part of the coordinated national effort to destroy the Occupy movement. I had already witnessed the following three tactics being used to undermine our cause: control resources, disrupt communication, co-opt leadership. With no more money or faith in institutional activism, I gave up on revolution and went back to Puerto Rico in February of 2012. My parents lost their house and had to rent a room off the internet. In March, I turned 30. I cried that day. In August, I flew back to New York and sold my father's guitar to pay for real estate school. Chapter number 4. The Good Broker. Before getting a real estate license, I never made over $10,000 in a single year. The last 5 years of my life, I have earned 2013. $40,000. 2014, $90,000. 2015, $135,000. Oh my God. How sweet Jesus. Woo. Woo. 2016. How much? How much was it? $170,000. Oh my God, sweet Jesus! My income will be over $350,000 in 2017, and the brokerage I've started will be worth over $1 million. I owe my success to aligning my personality, friendships, interests, and purpose with being a good broker. A broker is an individual who arranges transactions for a fee. A good broker does this with integrity and clear communication. Politicians are a kind of broker in that they arrange the transaction of votes for a promised platform. In 2016, America elected a bad broker to serve as our president. Number 5, democracy. Democracy is the idea that people can and should participate in their government. The values of empires are contrary to the needs of democracy. Since its inception, America has claimed to be a democracy, from the Iroquois to the Iraqi. Our actions have proven us to be an empire. Empires are administered through secrecy and consolidation of power. In America, we see this taking place in the following 3 ways: federalized municipalities, paramilitary agencies, democratic bottlenecks. The American Constitution in Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 states that we should not exceed 1 representative for every 30,000 citizens. In 1911, the House of Representatives was capped at 300 and 400. In 1911, the House of Representatives was capped at 435 members. Right now, each member of the House represents over 750,000 citizens. It's fucking idiotic. The American Constitution says that it should be 1 every 30,000. It's 1 every 750,000. Boom. That's what's wrong with your fucking government. I'll send you the bill in the fucking mail. What the fuck is that? That's like a plumber. You're like, oh, there's the fucking clog in the pipe. Huh. Well, how much shittier is your government than it should be? About 25 times. Fucking, you take 750,000 divided by 30. It's about fucking, yeah, exactly 25, isn't it? Hold on, I'm gonna do this math real quick. You guys, I smoked earlier, and I don't want to really fucking tell you, but it impairs your ability to fucking ability. It impairs ability. Shit, smoking impairs ability. That is great. And sometimes we need to time out. Sometimes you need to impair that ability, tie it down. Sometimes you're a freak, and your ability likes being impaired. Sometimes it's more fun that way. Your ambitions are down. I think my ability just wants to go late. Yeah, that's. I guess that's like the biological imperative. What is 750,000 divided by 30,000? 25. God damn, I'm good. I still got it. I still got it. Right now, each member of the House represents over. So our government is literally just 25 times as bad as it should be, based on what the founding fathers were talking. Founding fathers, fuck. Based on the fucking founders. They say founding fathers. No, dude, they could be founder bros. The founder bros, whatever. It's the fucking father shit. The founder bro. Founder bro's cool. Our founder bros. Anyways, that's good. In 1913, America was ratified the 16th Amendment, permanently legalizing an income tax. Oh, my serial number is 572694267. This is the documentation of future tax revenue which my country has borrows against to fund its genocidal ambitions. I fear that if we don't dismantle the American empire and repurpose it as a true democracy, we will suffer the fates of all other historic empires. We will lose control of our vessels, we will exhaust our tributaries, and we will be overrun by this barbarian does not want to overrun America. I have purchased my physical freedom with money. I have purchased my intellectual freedom with honest inquiry. I am a writer and a good broker. I am a non-aligned barbarian in between y'all, and my name is Paul. This is my story. I said that backwards, fuck. I think that's it. Boom. Signature. Push. Pre-orders. Push. Occupied are how I learned to stop protesting and join them. That was kind of like a douchey thing. I was like, sometimes you just do something, you slap it on, you look at it, you're like, not really feeling like writing out that thought. Because like dedicating your time, which also I've realized by writing this, I just wrote 40,000 words over a couple months, just explaining my thoughts and my thought processes and shit. You just realize how much it takes out of you. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, and some of this might not even be useful shit. It's good to think about, but like, it's not stuff you're really going to use. Maybe it is. I'm going to throw it on the website. We'll see. But yeah, so that was nice. It's cool because there's some ideas in there, and I like how I framed empire, and I liked. It was a little melodramatic, but you get it out. Once you write something melodramatic, you can read it for what it is without being too harsh on yourself, but also not giving yourself a pass. That like, I cried that day. That's a little bit fucking besides the point. If we want to flesh out my whole emotional development and arc, we can do that, but little out of place emotional details draw too much attention to themselves, especially if you're trying to build an argument. But we'll see. Still trying to figure out how to do that. Explain things. That's what it is. When I was reading the stuff in the past on these previous videos, I was like, I like the way I explain shit. Even if it's not all the way there, but like I like the writing where like I was trying to explain shit, experiences or other stuff, and so I started doing that more. And so this recent shit, I like it. Although if I'm not sure how I'd read it, but because I started talking to myself, but that's nice. I have this idea about talking to yourself recently. It might be genius or it might be insane because technically it's just talking to yourself. We'll see. I think it's good, but then again, I usually agree with myself. That's the problem when you talk to yourself. If you're a yes man, it's like it's an endless feedback loop of positivity. Fuck, no one can fucking get you down. That's a little dangerous. It's dangerous to be too confident, right? At least for those who have bought into their enslavement, for those who actually believe the lies of the world, that they don't deserve freedom because they would merely abuse themselves, abuse the freedom, abuse each other. The ones who've been sold enslavement and purchased it willingly. For them, that'd be good, like a good little speech, like a Dune speech. There's this little fucking like leader of a fucking liberation army on some alien planet. And they're like bugs though. The bug people. And they look like bugs. And everyone hates him, and it's not people's fault. We don't know why we're afraid of roaches, but we're afraid of roaches. Even the biggest, toughest dudes, we're just ingrained to maybe because like roaches indicate like fucking rotting matter that like would have diseases for us or something, but roaches freak us out. So these are like roach people. So they just freak us out. Anyways, that's a whole rejection of the other inbred into us outside the tribe. But yeah, it is interesting that it's cultural though, how these stories propagate. I'm noticing in the news and other stuff. What am I going to talk about, Shaz? We're at the end of this fucking journey here. I wanted to talk about... So I wrote all this at the beginning of 2017. Because this is the second joint. I had that joint earlier, which was already a doozy. This lamb's blood ain't no joke. So when I went to New York, I wrote this down so I would remember. 2012, got my real estate license. I sold that car and then guitar. And then October, I went to Queens with that Addie girl. Well, I got the apartment first. She hit me up. She came into New York. We lived with each other a little bit. A couple times in my life, I've tried to make a little home for us. Like, all right, let's just fucking try to do something. But I didn't really get a response. We never got over that, like, kissing, doing other stuff. We were always like, once you wait too long, then it becomes a big deal where it's just you're always friends because you're like, you need no reason to, I don't know. Sometimes I would think that there's like a moment, but like either I don't pursue it or she doesn't. Sometimes I think, all right, this is a time that I should have. We spent a lot of time alone, a lot of time together, but we also kind of got along. Like we could. I worked a lot. We actually did. Every now and then we would do some things together. We went to the park before. I just didn't think she was really into me, so I got that whole feeling of like when I hung out with her, we're just hanging out, but like I didn't really, and I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't mind. It was just like. I thought, all right, eventually we'll figure it out. Or if not, like, I'm glad she's doing good. But it was also that whole giving love, trying to, like, buy someone's affection, giving them a place. And she, like, got a job and she got her own. But if people use you, you're probably getting something out of the relationship. So you can't complain about them using you because people set up these dynamics on both sides. But anyways, we were out there for Hurricane Sandy. I remember she brought some dude back from a show, and I was like, oh, dude, that's what, like, kind of like, oh, I thought it was going to be romantic between me and her, and then she brought the dude back from the show, and I'm like, oh, that's like, maybe that's her sabotaging her, or maybe that's just like, it wasn't, she really wanted to make it clear that me and her were just a friendship thing, but that kind of bummed me out. But then we got a place on the Upper West Side. My bro fucking bounced on this apartment, pretty cheap, $600 between the two of us, pretty cheap. I'm still doing real estate the whole full time. But then I fucking, I slept on a little fucking couch or a seat or something. We had a bed in that room, and we had a little futon, and I gave her the bed, and I slept on like a futon. It's like just stuff like that where like you really have to keep your feet on the ground and keep yourself solid. If you give people the coat off your back, you catch pneumonia. What good are you to them? There is a minimum you gotta keep yourself going, and that's also in sex, I think, like in male-female relationships. From what I can see, I was just waiting for her to come around, and we were sleeping in the same bed, and then I start like filling her up one night, and I thought maybe like we had a good day or something like that, but then the next day she's not receptive at all, and then you just stop, and then the next day she's like, yo, I feel kind of uncomfortable about last night. I'm like, dude, I didn't. It's interesting if you ask the girl, well, why didn't you tell me to stop then? I thought because a lot of times you're initiating stuff and it's an unspoken thing, but it's just reciprocated gestures. And then sometimes you have to wait until there's a gesture reciprocating. Sometimes there's a shade of gray where like you're kind of neutral to it. Like if a girl comes up and starts rubbing on you and stuff, if you don't stop her right away, but you're still kind of neutral to it. And then any guy knows that they've been trying to get a girl into the mood and then they escalated too fast and she put a stop to it. It's like, it's an agreement both parties are trying to reach, but like it's interesting to try to litigate these things in your head. But she didn't really talk to me about it, and then I thought she was using still because she said she talked to some of her coworkers about it, and it's like this like drug addict type mentality of using everything for leverage. It was just like, now they pity her. Now there's other shit. Basically, I gave her the apartment. I went to Puerto Rico. I was like, I felt weird about the whole situation. I was like, if she's willing to do that, like, maybe it is all how she says, and she just woke up to me touching her, and it was a mistake, and and then she felt uncomfortable. But it's like, think about how much I was giving, setting up these places for her, and she was paying eventually, but not right away. I was just trying to give her a spot. And then she had that her own. She took over that spot, and then she invited a friend over, and that's a friend of hers to this day. Like, they still hang out and work out and shit. So it's interesting. You're trying to do good by people, but like, as soon as they complain about our relationships, our interactions, I usually bounce. Like, that was a pretty big miscommunication. And we've gotten like cuddly since. We've slept like in the same bed or hung out together, done drugs together. But like, I think that's why like a couple times we like started stuff just like kind of like nuzzling, like you're about to like get sexual with things, instead of just like giving someone a back rub, or you feel like you could cross a boundary between friendship or whatever. And then it's like stuff like that makes you just always think in your mind like, oh, that's why it's like, yeah, you learn that there's not just one person for you. It's just life. You got so much time on this earth, but that's what it is. Everyone's special, but not because they're that one unique person. They are. There is no one like just like you, but at the same time, we all fit into each other in such different ways that relationships, it's really like time. You only have time for so many, but one doesn't have to carry you this whole way. And that's why we're still friends, because we're still carrying each other in some ways. I've learned the most from her female energy than any. But that's also why I wanted to see her do good. And then she's been this whole year sober now, all of 2018. Because, it makes me feel like I did the right thing too. That we both have been good people in each other's lives. Like, if you look on the outside, people are like, I got arrested, I fucking put a lot of money in, but the money, you make your peace with what you give people. She gave me some stuff this year when I needed it, which was really nice. And her boyfriend asked her, yo, what's going on? How long is he staying? And she was like, she shut that shit down real quick. She was like, don't ever ask me about my relationship with Shaz. I'll give him as much as I want. It's like, people recognize that, like, made me really feel good. It's like, that's the whole point. It's not to help people so they are grateful to you. It's so that they get it, so that we all start helping each other. But like, just try to be a good person, and you live that. And then there's plenty of good people to share yourself with romantically too. Well, I mean, it's time. You only got so much time. So like, that's why I'm trying to take some time to be single right now, so that way the next one isn't a repeat of these cycles, but is all brand new mistakes. Now it's just like, it's something different. These are interesting emotions and interesting patterns. But yeah, that's where I was pretty much at. Those are the emotions I felt back then when I was in Puerto Rico. I went back to people who loved me and cared about me. I was just like, it's good. Just that whole misreading her, and then how that went down, where like she was kind of telling people publicly about something that like could be construed to be criminal. It's like, I'm always thinking about my liabilities. I'm not worried about that. We know each other too well for that to happen. Okay. But it's more about not letting go of any shame, any guilt, you live life the best you can. And when you make mistakes, you own up to them. My biggest mistake was like, why was I even thinking it was still an option? And then now she's sober. It's not like, that's what I'm wondering right now, what I'm looking at her as. She's sober, she's sober, but I still see some manipulative shit. And I'm just like, that's just survival mechanisms from growing up feral, growing up wild. And you have to learn how to survive. And a little girl learns some really funny tricks to survive. But they're sharp knives that they fucking walk around with. These little cats. The kittens have the sharpest claws, right? So I went back to New York in June, borrowed some money from Puerto Rico. I was like, fuck it, that's where the money was at. And also being on the island, and there's little romances and shit, and fucking, so there's a reason to go down there. Fucking regroup. and then go to nature. Came back to New York. I was homeless. That was June 2013. And then fucking I stayed in a hostel. My first deal, I got a hostel. And then that's when I met that one girl, the British girl, the end of 2013, September, and we took her to Cali. I took her to Cali. I'm starting to say we because when I write in fucking like stereo and shit. And then November, I moved to Tribeca, to Independence Plaza with those two dudes. I was doing this fucking shared apartments, roommate matching. I did that for a couple months. Went fucking visited London girl again in Puerto Rico, but that's when the Tribeca roommate hit on her before I came and fucking was just being told all sorts of disrespectful. So I moved back. I moved out of there to the Upper East Side in February. That was like 2014. And then March, I went to a fucking... Oh, you know what? March, I went somewhere, maybe the hostel. And then I rented a place. This is 2014. Fucking, what was it? It was, 2000. Oh, yeah, I rented a place off of McDougal for a month or two. This guy, he was an anarchist kid. He wrote speeches for a politician in New Jersey. And I slept on his floor and fucking, there's a hilarious thing. I'll always remember this. But fucking, I slept on his floor. He had like Krusty the Clown tattoos. He was like fucking squatted with people. He had his legs broken in Spain protesting with the anarchists out there. He was legit. He had traveled around and shit. And fucking, I think I had, the social on my arm. So it's like we didn't have to like each other to fucking respect each other. But we kind of liked each other for a bit. He had the special beer in his freezer and I accidentally or his beer in the fridge and I accidentally put it in the freezer and I exploded it. So I wasn't the best roommate. We had a beer every now and then. We were cool. He fucking just sort of like a short, stumpy dude, but he was like a tough kid. He had lived it. He was like a real dude. We didn't have too much in common because like he said he was about the kickboxing, but then I didn't really see much. He smoked cigarettes and shit. And it's just like when you're trying to keep certain shit out of your life, you just don't associate with it. But he was a wild kid. He was a fucking cool kid. He had like some black girlfriend. He was into like some kinky ass shit, some freaky shit, I think is what he was telling me, if I remember correctly, some dominatrix shit. But he was Italian. This kid. Anyways, I slept on his floor and I was like, shit, I want some weed. I'm making some money. It's 2014. And I'm fucking like, and before that, and then I went to the hostel and then went to the Lower East Side with that model chick. But I was like, I want to fucking get a drug dealer. I was like, I need a fucking adult drug dealer. I'm becoming an adult with my money and my fucking clothing and shit. And so sometimes I would go out and just get drunk and on the weekend or something, and I don't really fucking keep that many friends, but like but yeah, you go to a bar, you start drinking, you make friends, you go stumble around. So apparently someone fucking heard me talking about wanting to because that night before I went out, I was like, I want a fucking adult drug dealer. I want some weed, goddammit. Like, I know it's legal, not legal, whatever, but like, I'm a grown-ass man, I want some fucking herb. And so fucking, that night, the kid I was staying with, he tells me this in the morning, I don't remember any of it. He tells me that I came up fucking just laughing and shit. And laughing, and then I just fucking went to bed. And some people kept buzzing the buzzer after me. And he had to be like, yo, Shaz doesn't live here. Yeah, I'm going to call the fucking, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to call the fucking police if you don't stop. But I told these kids, I took their fucking, I guess some kids fucking told me they had some herb. And I told them I needed to get my cash in my apartment. So I fucking took the herb, went up to the apartment, and I crashed. And then I looked in the morning, and fucking it was like, it wasn't real weed. It was that synthetic weed. It was like fucking incense or some shit like that. Or spice, whatever the fuck they call it. But you could tell it's not weed. It's fucking like you push in this like dryer lint or some shit. It was weird. I smoked that shit once in Puerto Rico, and it tasted like plastic. It was nasty. This kid, he couldn't smoke real weed because the chemical, or because he was being drug tested, some shit. So they're smoking that instead. But anyways, I was like, oh shit, fucking, no wonder I ripped these kids off. This isn't even real weed. That's hilarious. And he was like, dude, they were buzzing for like ever and you wouldn't wake up. And like, so he was pissed off at me because I was being silly. That happened. And then so I'm walking down the street the next week, fucking over there off of, what is it, the fucking Angelica's on it. And the fucking, so is, Think Coffee. Shit, I'm forgetting all my New York shit. Think Coffee's right there. But anyways, so I'm walking from there down like West 3rd, And I see those kids, they look familiar. I remember this vaguely what happened, but not really. But one of the kids is sitting down on the curb, the other kid's on the street doing some shit with the people. I don't know, he's trying to like hustle them or some shit. So it's like, yo, 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 you guys, you owe us some money. I was like, what? Is that, are you guys from the other night? They're like, yeah, yeah, you said you were going to get your money. You owe us. And so the kid comes at me just like a little bit aggressive, like, yo, you owe us some money. And then the kid on the fucking curb is looking kind of up like he's about to get up. And I just start laughing at him. I'm like, dude, that wasn't even real weed, man. And I was fucking drunk as shit, man. I say we call it even. And I just looked at him, but I was just like, I just didn't even change. I was just like, yo, dude, that was fucking bullshit. And I look at the dude on the curb, and the dude's about to get up, and he's just like, I'll just keep walking. I'm just like, whatever, dude. If you guys want us to put more energy into this, go ahead. But I got my position, you got yours. But I just thought it was funny. It was like, yo, yo, you owe us the money. I was like, that's not how this works, man. Nah. That was, if I got weed from them, then maybe I would. I'd be like, oh shit, like, yeah, I owe you guys some money, my bad. Humble myself. But now I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have smoked that if I was sober. They try to come up on me. I was like, we fucking were even, dude. You guys try to come up on me. I was drunk. I was too drunk to fucking fall for it. It's funny. The dude on the curb, he was just like about to get up. I just looked over like, nah, dude, there's no reason. There's no reason. That's how you avoid shit. Most people want to avoid shit. That's how they knew they were wrong, too. It's like they knew I wasn't asking for no spice or some shit. I was asking for some herb. And they're trying to sell me some spice. That's dangerous. That's actually, I have a good reason to be mad myself. And that's that whole, like, when you respect the truth, that's the most confidence there is in life. Because you're just like, no, I'm just trying to be real. That's all. I don't even remember the night. That's fucking dangerous. That's why in New York you get blind drunk while I wander around. You just pick up fucking ticks. Pick up fleas like running through the grass. The micro and the macro picture. Why do you have Lyme disease? Possibly because of some nuclear meltdown in the Northeast. It's associated with like some sort of government shit, I think. I read something like that. The timelines match up. So, but like the tick, that fucking sucks your blood and gives you this disease. And then New York the same way. You walk around and you'll pick up some ticks. We're just representing the systems of nature in which we live. Which is why, so be aware of your environment, of the garden in which you're growing. Anyways, back to this. I knew I had something to do, Chess. So, I stayed with that kid, yeah, with the fake weed story, and then some other shit happened. I would like get really high and fucking just sit there on McDougal Street right across from the Comedy Cellar and just watch that was the summer. Watch the city pass by. Just fucking be like, it's a trip. This whole life is a trip, just sitting there being high. Watching everything. Go fucking get high in the summer and sit on the fucking stoop of McDougal Street. And it's like looking up the skirt of Manhattan. You see all the jewels. And then the Lower East Side with the model, not with the model, after the model. And then August, I moved to 172 Thompson. And then I met Pooks, 172 Thompson. I met her in around October. Well, I met her right before, like in September. And then I was like, I got the place for a year lease. I'm like, all right, fuck yeah. Now I can get a girlfriend. Stability. And also I could work more. So I know I can get more money to get a girlfriend. Because when you're living in these hostels and these rooms, you never could quite work as much as you want because you're commuting this and that. And I'm on like grind mode now. Just the opposite of what I'm doing now, which is like super thinking. And then in June, I flew out to California. Oh, now I'm in 2015. So Pooks, we had that whole year. We had that time we took mushrooms, went to Washington Square Park. I beat that guy in chess, had no idea where I was at the end of the game. I was like, I had to fight. It was like a new game. I was like, well, fuck, I know I was about to win. And I just had to remember where the checkmate was. And he was like, hey, yo, you look twisted right now. I was like, yeah, I need to get the fuck out of here. I started being paranoid about everyone around me. I was like, fuck, I'm fucked up in public. I grabbed my phone. I was like, got my iPhone in my hand. And then on my bike ride home, it felt like the back of the bike was like moving behind me like that, wiggly. I was like, oh shit, it felt like it was a wiggle bike. And I was looking at people on the fucking side of the. I was going down Thompson, and I looked at the bottom of Thompson 172, just 3 blocks below the park, or 2 blocks below the park. So I know I can make it, and there's no cars coming. But it's like sunny, sun through the trees, and I'm looking at people on the sidewalk, and they all look flat as posters, cardboard. But like the people look, there's like there's an Indian on Thompson. He's a big wooden Indian, so he does look fake because he is fake. But then the people also look like just cardboard cutouts, and my bike is wiggling, and I'm like, I just need to make it another 1,000 yards just down the street. And fucking, that was interesting. A lot of fucking Pooks. I learned a lot about love from Pooks. I'm still learning to be better in my next relationship. And then so in May 2015, I flew out to visit my folks, and I bought a car. The whole point of making this money is for my folks. I'm trying to help my family survive. I was making it on my own, but then like I didn't think I was going to reach the timeline we need to reach in the time we need to reach it. I think reach the targets we need to reach in the time we've targeted to reach them. Yes. So I flew out and to say hi to them, spread some love, and then fucking I bought a car and drove back here with my pops. My pops was like, yo, if you need help driving that car across country, I was like, hey, you could come along, pops. It ain't for the help. You could just come along if you want a fucking adventure. And then every single one, because we had that old shit to bury, and we didn't even talk the whole time. Fucking, you think, oh, this is the time that we talk about shit in the past and arguments and fights. And when he's been like distant from the family, he went to live with that one chick, and my mom were about a divorce. And then fucking the whole ride out, we're just like, I told him, I was like, well, I'm going to be smoking. I'm living my own life now. I'm making that real estate money, so I'm trying to interact with my folks differently. I'm like, yo, fucking, it's all about, I'm just trying to live life with character and honest, this and that, but it's my own honor and my own keeping. So sometimes, like, you can't point to the Bible and be like, it says respect your parents. It's like, that's cool, that's your book. I don't got a book like that. I don't think that way, just follow these rules. I think you just fucking think about each situation, do what you think is right. We got it inborn within us. Sincerity and honesty, correct, towards truth is the idea. Anyways, I was like, yo, I'm smoking. He's like, whatever. So we're out on the road, because it's really my mom, the whole Christian shit. And so we're out on the road, and I got my little left-handed pipe. I broke it. It was a left-handed pipe, and it was made out of, it looked like a dove, like a bird, and it was blue. It was beautiful, and it was small. It wasn't big. So it was like that big. It looked like a bird. It was blue, and it was left-handed, so that means that the carb is on this side. You can see with your right hand, your carb is right here. But basically, it's made to hold better in your left hand when you're holding closed or open the carb. But anyway, we smoked that shit, and we fucking I bought the car from CarMax, and then the battery died, and I sat down at the CarMax guy, and I was like, before I bought it, I was like, I got the same car, $2,000, $3,000 cheaper, only 30, 50 miles away. Tell me right now why I don't get in my car and go buy that car over there. It's cheaper. I want you to lower this price. Not all the way down, but save me the drive. And he's like, you know what, Mr. Shazbar? Those aren't CarMax cars, though. And our CarMax cars have superior inspections, superior warranties, and to tell you the truth, they're just superior overall quality. So you can go spend less money for an inferior product. Or, if you are who I think you are, you look like a man who understands the value of a quality name behind a quality product. You can sit right here. The choice is right in front of you. I don't know what the fuck he said. He said, CarMax has a better warranty. I was like, I'm driving across country. I do believe in that. I sell myself on value too. If you come to New York, if you want to save money, do it on your own. But if you want someone to get you the best apartment for your needs and the most efficient manner possible with your documents, with your approval, troubleshooting who is or is not shady, because we work with all these companies. Some people tell me it's just a year. I'm just in New York for a year. I don't care if the landlord's kind of shitty. I'm never going to call him. I just need a crash pad in a hot location. We got him a little 1-bedroom in the East Village. Yeah, but since it was a little shitty, like my apartment, if it's a little shitty, you can be a little bit louder. He produced music. He got some noise complaints, but the broker told me, he was a great tenant. Some noise complaints, but we don't give a shit about that. It's all college kids. They're like, yeah, we're used to it. These kids are coming and going. You know what you got. That's why your rent's a little cheaper. Otherwise, you'd move out. Or your rent stabilized, whatever. So that they're fucking paying super cheap rent. So the landlord needs these new guys to make them the real money. Anyways, It was interesting. What the fuck was I talking about? Fuck. Driving across country with my pops. And we would stop and get these mugs. I guess I'll get one from Pennsylvania. See, every single state we stopped in, we got a mug to bring back to my mom. So we shipped them back to my mom. So then that way, it's like my mom came along with us, or at least we had her in our mind. So we're driving by, and we're almost out of the state a lot of times. Like, woo, that was a fucking grown man sneeze right there. Is that allergies? What is that? Oh, it's the weed probably. But yeah, so we'd be driving out of state like Pennsylvania. We're like, fuck, we need to stop, get the mug, and then we'd stop, and then like 1 or 2 states, we're like, fuck, you guys aren't proud enough about your state. Ain't gonna put it on a fucking piece of fucking Tupperware so people could carry it with them. This is what normal people do. That's what fucking civilization sort of skips the in between areas between the coasts. Now we had really good meal in Texas and shit. We stop when we can, soak up the ambiance. People were really nice. I think it was in Pennsylvania in Wheeler or Wheeling. This one girl, she fucking stopped and she showed us around downtown. We were just walking around talking with people. It was cool, but yeah, my pops, we didn't really fucking talk about shit. We just enjoyed each other's company. We were in like the flat plains, Kansas, fucking Nebraska, all those just straight fucking just driving under the clouds, and you're just like, we just smoked, and fucking like an hour goes by, and I'm just like, I told him, I was like, I'm just thinking about the clouds up there. And he was like, yeah, me too. Just fucking, it's interesting. Just chilling. Then he came to New York, and then we yeah, it takes you a minute to try to understand your folks, and you'll never completely understand them, just like you'll never completely understand any person. But you try to understand enough to make people happy, help them with their happiness. You can't make people happy against their will, but you want you to understand what their values are and this and that. And I think I understand my folks. It's just we've been gathering data this last year, so I was talking to them to a point, but that's why I stopped talking to them like that. As we enter the days after December 31st and December the 34th, BJ Day, the year of our Shaz, December 34th, BJ Day. This is only coffee grounds now. We're almost done with this. But yeah, I wrote that down somewhere. I was like, my dad likes strong men, and I think he realizes I'm a strong man, and that's enough. We don't gotta talk about stuff, but like I try to be a strong spirit, do what I think should be done. But then we're disagreeing about what should be done. He's listening to a lot of Trump propaganda, and that's interesting. But this year isn't the year of judgment. This year is the year to live the things that I've said that I actually like and inspect the things that might be questionable, which means that we have to be compassionate to the people we disagree with, because compassion is where you're supposed to end up anyways. And sometimes it's difficult, and you try to land in compassion, but your emotions push you out. So you just have to weather the storm of your emotions, but they always leave. All storms end eventually. It's too much energy. It's an exhaustion of energy. It's a release of energy. That's cool. You learn to recognize the system so you can predict it. What are emotions but weather? Weather of the, I said that is an indication of a slippery or cheap argument. I'm just looking at the time. It's like, wow, how did I do so many of these videos? I had a lot of stuff to say. That was last year. Yeah, this year is really changing maybe I'll just do this last video. Fuck the rest of them. What other stuff was I going to say? Let me see. How about the shit you do now? Project has evolved. Abandoned Preface, King of Carmine, I've already read that. Budget and credit, that's pretty self-explanatory. I was making decent money. And Mama G. Mama G is just, that's a picture. I showed that picture. So boom, I ended this without even knowing I ended it. And then, 2015, I fucking moved to an Upper East Side apartment with 5 bedrooms. That's where I got that soul that straddles all worlds idea. I was on that roof dropping acid. Some dude was like, you don't even seem like you're on acid. I was like, I'm the soul that straddles all worlds, tripping when I'm not, and not when I am indeed tripping. And then there's that girl who was gonna sublet her apartment on West Houston, but that fell through. We had our exchanges, but I'll remember her from that comment. McKibben Lofts, where I dropped acid on that Monday with that one chick. And then the fucking Lower East Side, 224 Sullivan, and then 13 Cartmine.